Okay, time for the wrap of not just 1 but 2 days of NPL action. I was at a certain small event with Brian Lara last night, so I wasn't able to record one yesterday. And actually, as you'll see, for the first time I got the sunglasses on because there was only one game today, a morning game. We'll get to that in a few moments. Let's touch on yesterday first. The Biratnagar Kings, they were already out of the tournament, but they were desperate, in fact, to beat the Kathmandu Gurkhas to finish with a win and make it 3 wins this season for them. Thought they actually played pretty well despite not batting particularly well. And altogether it was Rajesh Palami Magar again with his 25 that got them up to 117. But then they bowled exceptionally well. Sandeep Lamachani in particular, Chris Soule yet again, who really had a good tournament, the Scotsman. And in fact, you could think that really the Gurkhas, who went out with this all-out blitzkrieg approach, it almost cost them heavily. Gerard Erasmus was in the wickets in the first innings yet again, but he couldn't pick up many runs, and it was left to the number 11, the small man, one of my favourite cricketers, Dipesh Kadel, who is such a little charismatic cricketer. He really is. He bowled nicely, picked up a couple of wickets, and then hit the winning runs with 11 not out to be the player of the match. And the Gurkhas sealed an absolute thriller by just 1 wicket. It kept, in theory, their hopes alive, but then what happened? Well, in the afternoon, it was another thriller. Sudurpaschim needed to win to be guaranteed a top 4 spot, but for the majority of the game, I thought the Bakara Avengers were right on top. In fact, 153 on what was a very good batting surface didn't look to me to be enough. And the way young Kieran Thaguna played, and also in combination with Raymond Reefer, you sensed that a big upset was in the offing. The Avengers were just playing for pride, but they were desperate to win. Andreas House got some runs up at the top, and those 2 men that I just mentioned there, they certainly had the game under control until Harmeet Singh. It's probably one of the worst deliveries I've seen a bowl. It was a long hop, but it was pulled out to the deep, it was held, and then all of a sudden Kugeline came in to finish off the tail. He took 5 for, and if you add it to the 2 for that I'll tell you about in a moment, he's now the tournament's leading wicket taker with 15. The big Kiwi quick has been outstanding for the Sudurpaschim Royals. The atmosphere was sensational, as it was again this morning, because Sudurpaschim yet again came back into action. They've definitely been the best supported team in the tournament, haven't they? They've been so good. And after Tiger yesterday, Dipendra Singh Airee didn't do much in the afternoon. All of a sudden it was his day today. You can keep a good man down for a day or two, not for too many. And today it was all about his 3-dimensional cricket. I asked him in the post-match interview where he won not 1, not 2, but 3 awards. The first person to do that in 20 matches. He was a Red Bull energetic moment of the match. He was a Super Fours winner, and he was the player of the match because he did it all. 38 with the bat, 2 wickets with the ball, I think for 20 and 2 run-outs. The run-out of Gulshan Jah, simply world class. I don't think many other fielders in the world would have turned it into a chance. He didn't just turn it into a chance, he executed perfectly. His feet are so fast. And I'll tell you something, a little story. His mum was here yesterday and today, and I was so privileged to meet her. She is maybe the proudest mum anywhere in Nepal, and rightly so. So Dipendra Singh Airee led his side to 6 wins from 7, but again there was a fine bowling performance from Harmeet Singh with 3 wickets. Scott Kugeline picked up 2. He's got 15 altogether. And actually, the way in which the Karnali Yaks played, all of a sudden the Kathmandu Gurkhas were sitting at home thinking, we're in this contest. What we need is Sudurpaschim to go out and chase the 101 or 102 that they made in that first innings quickly, and we're back in. We're in 4th place then. It all comes down to the vagaries of that net run rate. And in fact, if the Yaks had won by a bit of a margin, then they would have been into the top 2. So there was lots of different quandaries with the calculators out up in the broadcast box earlier. But one thing is for certain, Sudurpaschim deserved to be top of the table. And I think on the balance of things, Karnali probably deserved to get into the playoffs. Remember, they won 4 in a row at one stage. Today wasn't their days. Ishan Maqsood made a few runs. Will Basisto made a couple, but quite slowly. My mic's just cut out, but we're going to keep going. I'm just going to talk extra. Young Bipin Sharma came into the wickets again. He's been quite brilliant. I love the way he's gone about it. But I think for me, they've got to get more runs, and I'm not sure who's going to get the runs. Babar Hayat, even though he got a couple of boundaries today, didn't show an awful lot. And all around, it's almost with the Sudurpaschim Royals, it's death by 1,000 cuts. There's so many good players. Someone's going to get you. Even if someone has an off day, somebody else will. Bandari got a tough decision out there. He got out. Then there was an LBW for Sampal Kami from round the wicket. And all of a sudden, Ishan Pandey walked to the crease up the order. Good move from the Sudurpaschim Royals. Dr. Ishan Pandey, as I should call him. He's had a really good tournament too. 38 for him. He teamed up with Dipendra Singh Airee. And although Dipendra Singh Airee fell before the end, the big win for the Yaks was they managed to hold the Sudurpaschim Royals all the way to about 15 and a half overs to chase it down. If it was done in 12.2 overs or less, it would have been a lot different for the Kathmandu Gurkhas, because they would have been in. But they sadly, particularly for their captain Karen Casey, who's been so brilliant all tournament, they are gone. All about the playoffs now. big news personally and for all the commentators. All of us are a bit tired. Day off tomorrow. We need that, because I'll tell you something, 28 games in 15 days, it has me very tired, I promise you. But we're going to enjoy the rest day tomorrow, and then we're into the playoffs, and that's where it's all going to get even more exciting. I'm not sure whether, as we look at the VVIP stand here, it's been built specially for this, I'm not sure there's going to be any tickets left. So a final warning, if you do want to come along and support your team, I would get on to kelty.com right now and get those tickets. If you don't, I think you might miss out. But let me explain the playoffs to you. Wednesday morning, third will play fourth. Okay, so on that morning, you'll get a chance to stay alive in the tournament. Lose that game, you are out. Or as I would say, you are gone for all money. Okay, third v fourth, that will be the Chitwan Rhinos, led so impressively by Kushal Malla, taking on the Karnali Yaks. I think the Rhinos are favourites, but don't rule out the Yaks coming back. They need to utilise Gulshan Jah much better, and Sampal Kami, if he finds some early wickets, anything could happen. Then in the afternoon, it's El Clasico time. It's 1v2 in the table. It's the two best supported teams in the first year of the competition. The Sudurpaschim Royals, they'll be taking on the Janakpur Bolts with a massive crowd. That will be 1 p.m. on Wednesday. Then the losers of that game, obviously the winners of that go automatically to the grand final on Saturday the 21st of December. The losers of that game will play the winners of third v fourth. That will come, I'm hoping I'm right, on Thursday the next day. I think that's an afternoon game. We'll have Friday off, and then the grand climax, Saturday the 21st of December. It will be the only ticket in town. If you have one, you're a lucky man or woman or a child, I promise you that much, because they're going to be very difficult to get your hands on. It's been a wonderful first season of this NPL. I've loved every second, but I promise you one thing, I'm going to go get some sleep. We'll see you very soon. Thanks so much for watching.